first guilty pleasure TV show on our list, Love Island.
Are we in the mood for love?
Yeah.
This show is huge internationally, but this will be the first ever American version, set to air 5 nights a week, starting tonight on CBS. Watch sexy singles compete to be part of the final couple left standing.
Hey guys, it's me here, Comrade Lavender here, and today I'm back with another anti-capitalism deep dive true crime video topic. Today I want to do another reality TV show files. I want to do the pure evil, the Love Island reality TV show files, capitalism, lawsuits, sexism, racism, lack of diversity, etc. So let's get started in this YouTube video topic. But before we get started, all my other reality TV show videos that I've done will be on the screen right now. If you'd like to check out my other YouTube videos I've done on other reality TV show topics, they're going to be on the screen right now. So let's get started on this YouTube video topic.
Rachel, who was a bombshell on Love Island UK Season 7, calls out Love Island for the lack of diversity. She said this on Instagram stories. Just know that the Black Islanders are talking in the DMs. A lot were declined, some refused, but there's still many to pick from. Where the fuck are they on our screens? I'd also like to point out I want diversity reflected in all aspects, ethnicity, body type, disability, etc. I of course just speak more where I relate. She then responds to the haters who were saying she's just bitter because she wasn't invited. This is what she said. Love how everyone's assuming I'm bitter because I wasn't invited to participate. Laughing emojis. How the fuck do you know I wasn't invited or approached? I was. But guess what? Pregnant emoji.
Love Island slammed with over 1,500 Ofcom complaints about misogynistic behaviour and bullying.
And I turned around to Jake when I was in the villa and said, I feel big here. And, you know, as a woman who's always worn a size 8, that's absolutely terrifying.
Sharon, the Love Island lineup has come out this year. What's your initial reaction?
I was sad to see that there was no Asian contestant in the original lineup. I'm really hoping that there will be some Asian male representation in this series. I'm not 100% convinced of body diversity yet, but you can see that, like, you know, it's not all very petite people or boys with proper stone-washed abs.
I do find it so strange that there's been 7 seasons of Love Island and like the UK average woman size is 16, and I think I'm almost convinced that I haven't seen one woman who's a size 16 in there.
I would love to see more body diversity in the show, and when you look, people watch Love Island, you use that as a metric for what attractive is, and that's why I think it's so important to have body diversity on there.
It's definitely different. Definitely different.
So let's go back to right at the beginning of the show, like kind of when you first came in. There was a lot of talk online about you not getting chosen, and people were saying, you know, maybe it's because she's a dark-skinned female. How did you feel when you were in there? When you walked in the villa, did you think, yeah, like there's people here for me? Did you feel like you could have found someone in there?
When I walked in the first time, obviously I met the girls, and I seen Amber, and I was like, oh, you know, there's someone mixed as well. And then I seen Anna, and I was like, you know, I couldn't figure out what she was, but I was like, she's different. And I was like, this is good. Like, there's huge diversity. And when I seen that, I was like, there has to be diversity in the male cast as well. I was like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I stepped out, and there was like, you know, there was Michael, there was Sharif. And I thought it was going to be fun. I thought like I was going to meet someone like straight away. But obviously that proved very difficult for me for the first week and a bit.
But how did that make you feel? Because, yeah, like you said, it was quite difficult for you, wasn't it?
It was, but I feel like it's an issue with, like, nearly all reality TV stars. There's always, you know, there's always someone that is kind of not picked. There's always a diversity type of issue. So going in, obviously, I was obviously aware of that, but I didn't know how hard it would be. Do you know what I mean?
A group of single people moved to a luxury villa in the hopes of finding love in the summer of their life. Throughout the whole entire series, there are shocking twists and surprise announcements that will test the relationships between the islanders to remain in their luxury paradise and stand a chance of winning the £50,000 prize. Contestants must couple up and win the hearts of each and the public as they ultimately decide who stays on Love Island and who goes and gets eliminated. Love Island is a British reality TV show. It is the revival of an earlier celebrity series of the same name, which aired for two series in 2005 and 2006. Love Island fans call out the lack of diversity on the reality TV show following a contestant's brutal dumping from Villa. Kaz, 29 years old, who first appeared on the program's 7th season, returned for the series' first all-star season. However, she struggled to find a connection in the villa. After 3 new blonde bombshells entered, a shock recoupling took place, which left Kaz single and therefore eliminated from the competition. In response, some fans have accused the show of racism, claiming that producers made no effort to cast someone who would be a suitable match for her. Kaz never stood a chance. They never brought in someone for her. This show couldn't be any more racist, reads one comment. Another viewer fumed and commented, "You guys actually could have sent Kaz on a date with someone. The show should be ashamed of the way producers treat Kaz." Others suggested racial dynamics were at play and how Kaz became a therapist for other contestants. The producers this season were all truly wicked. Y'all brought Kaz on for what? One comment reads, "To be best friends forever / therapists for the white girls?" Y'all clearly had no intention of bringing in someone for her. Truly shameful. Former Islander Rachel Finney, who was also on season 7 of the show, has been very vocal about the show's treatment of its black contestants that appear on the show over recent years. As Kaz received a text to say she's been dumped, Rachel posted a message in her Instagram stories within minutes. "Just know that the Black Islanders are talking in the DMs. A lot were declined. Some refused, but there's still many to pick from. Where the fuck are they on our screen?" she wrote. "I'd like to point out that I want diversity reflected in all aspects: ethnicity, body type, disability, etc. And I, of course, speak more where I relate." Love Island has faced accusations of racism and lack of diversity following awkward recouplings that often highlighted what some have called underlying racism of desirability. One fan said it was the worst they've ever seen for diversity on a reality TV show. It also comes as former Islander Priya Gopaldas told The Sun she had turned down an invite to appear on the show and was disappointed at its lack of South Asian representation, pointing out there are no Islanders representing the UK's second largest racial group and its largest minority. A fan comment about the situation on Twitter saying, "Kaz might be going home tonight now that they brought in 3 more bottle bomb bombshells." This season has been one of the least diverse Love Island episodes ever. Love Island have undone all the small strides ever made over the last couple of years with this whitewashed dry lineup. Hashtag Love Island All-Stars. Some former fans have long advised non-white viewers to boycott the show, claiming that Kaz's treatment has been the final straw for them. Love Island idea of South Asian representation is steeped in colorism. In the wake of the Black Lives Matter movement and Stop Asian Hate, the seasons have prompted a much bigger discussion around race and identity to what is perceived as attractive, reflective of the overall society we live in. There's only been a handful of South Asian contestants on Love Island to date. When it was announced that they were trying to have the first South Asian woman on the season of Long Island, Shannon Singh, it was exciting. Shannon is mixed-raced, but people are not surprised that the TV producers have gone for someone who is light-skinned. Darker-skinned South Asian women on screen are so rare. We saw the second South Asian female contestant enter the villa, Priya Gopaldas, a stunning woman, but someone who is also considered to be lighter-skinned and consequently more palatable end of South Asian beauty. It seems as if the producers of the Love Island TV show have a diversity box they would like to tick and fill, but don't actually know anything about communities they are attempting to represent. People of color are not monolith, and that definitely applies to South Asians. Colorism is a prejudice towards darker skin within one's race. It also affects people from East Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean, and the Middle East. South Asia is comprised of a huge landmass, and within that landmass there are people from entire spectrum of skin colors and hair textures. Yet when they are depicted on screen, whether that's Bollywood or mainstream TV, the people deemed most attractive are those ones that closely resemble Eurocentric European standards of beauty: light skin, light-colored eyes, small noses, and straight hair. But it is a criticism of people who work behind the scenes and who are in charge of choosing who gets to go on screen. If you're going to represent a community, do the legwork or hire a consultant who can explain the levels of complexity around identity in certain communities. For a long time, the language and culture reflected on Love Island felt distinguishedly white. Shady situations were muggy. Pathetic partners were branded as a melt. If you were rejected, you were pied. And while Black Twitter has long provided unbeatable live commentary on reality TV shows, ensuring the community spends at least half the show screaming at our phones, Black contestants on the show have been rare. For those few Black contestants and contestants of color overall, it's not like their Love Island reality TV experiences have been particularly pleasant either. Previous Black Islanders have faced microaggressions and relentless struggle as it's becoming evident that they're rarely anyone's type on paper. Love Island is one of the biggest reality TV shows in the UK. For many of us, it serves as an uncomfortable mirror to our own dating experiences. It brings up difficult conversations around Western beauty standards, fetishization, and internalized racism. As Love Island has become essential in understanding the British dating scene, it's vital then to look into the way racism manifests within it. The point being, racism in dating exists, and it's not easy to ignore as a person of color. If racism is something you've experienced throughout your whole entire life, you will have a trained eye for it. Your heart will drop every time you're called exotic, as though you're a seasonal fruit flown in from Thailand. It'll sting every time you're told that you're pretty for your race. For so many people, this is exhausting reality of dating. It's only amplified on shows like Love Island. This isn't because the show fosters an environment for this type of behavior, but because it accurately reflects modern-day Britain. Every single coupling ceremony over the past 6 seasons, a Black contestant has been picked last. Might be easy for some to dismiss these moments, to say it's just a coincidence that contestants of color are picked last, or the season 4 Samaria was asked to twerk within minutes of entering the villa. But I'm not so sure. I feel like they're blatant signifiers to what's really going on in a wider society. Western beauty standards dictate what is desirable and what is not desirable. For years we've been told, via various modes of media, that whiteness and Eurocentric ideal. It doesn't matter how beautiful Kaz is, she just doesn't fit into the narrow beauty standard box we've all been conditioned to accept, and so she was picked last. As so many people accurately anticipated, it's not just coupling ceremony that this kind of inadvertent racism is evident. Last year, in the winter series of Love Island, the dismissal of Leanne as a Black woman appeared to feed all the way through the show's first week. When contestant Mike, who paired up with Luann, told fellow Islander twin Jess Gill that he was leaning towards Luann in preference, she commented that she was shocked at the strong preference. For me, when I watched it, there were uncomfortable undertones to what she was suggesting. Why couldn't she warp her head or mind around the fact that Mike could somehow find Luann more attractive? It wasn't something that went unnoticed by viewers. Elsewhere, hearing Nas from last year's cast refer to himself as exotic, and then having a fellow contestant compare him to Aladdin was also precarious. The perfect microcosm of how people of color are often othered in the dating scene. Sunise, who initially gave him the nickname, may have also referred to herself as Jasmine because she's obsessed with Disney, but regardless, hearing an Asian man being compared to a Middle Eastern cartoon character is imprecise, uncomfortable, in the least bit, but not the least bit surprising. It carries the message that all brown people look the same. Is there such little positive representation of Asian men in popular culture that the nearest comparison Sunanese could reach was someone from an entirely different part of the world? The fact that the official Love Island account then made the same joke about Nas and Sunanese, calling them Princess Jasmine and Aladdin, was a further suggestion that we're forced to see people of color through a white gaze. Winners Mimi and Josh are the first ever black couple to win Love Island. This doesn't take away from the fact that year after year, the reality TV show faces accusations of colorism and tokenism and racism when it comes to representation. Mimi was, after all, the only dark-skinned black girl in the cast. It remains abundantly clear there needs to be more to be done to protect the contestants' mental health on Love Island. For example, Ofcom received over 250 complaints following Josie Essex and Steen Stone's alleged bullying behavior. Biodiversity, let's discuss that too, shall we? Over the years, the show has tried to incorporate more diverse body shapes, but that hasn't gone down well, mainly for the contestants' mental health. So this year, they reverted to a type with the whole host of perfect-looking, primped and peened, hairless, slender, showcasing beach body-ready bods. Yep, despite all the great leaps and bounds society has made in recent years when it comes to body diversity and body positivity representation, Love Island still showcases impossibly idealistic body types to millions of impressionable young minds. Despite the inclusion of a deaf contestant, Tasha Gorey, in 2022, and 2021's Hugo Hammond, who was born with a clubbed foot, there's never been any other form of disability representation. No lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus community representation either, which producers had said in the past when challenged would be difficult because of the logical element, because that's progression, isn't it? Seeing the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus community as a difficulty. Ofcom has decided to take no action over thousands of complaints about alleged misogynistic, sexist behavior and comments on this summer's Love Island. The regulator received nearly 7,500 complaints about the 8th series of the dating show. Viewers and charity Women's Aid highlight issues including bullying and coercive control, but Ofcom said that negative behavior was not shown in a positive light, and it would not pursue the complaints. About 3.4 million people watched the show's final, but there were complaints throughout its run about the treatment of contestants. Ofcom received 7,400 complaints over the course of the summer Love Island viewing, with the main ones being 2,400 were made about the show's movie night episode relating to the alleged misogynistic behavior by some of the male contestants. 497 viewers alleged bullying among the contestants and raised ongoing concerns about behavior from the male contestants they considered to be sexist and misogynistic. Former Love Island USA crew members file lawsuit accusing producers of violating labor laws, mistreating contestants. Season 4 Villa producers Jasmine, Crestwell, and Rinks are filing suit against ITV and NBCUniversal. 2 former Love Island USA crew members have filed a lawsuit against the show producers, alleging violations of California's employment laws and mistreatment of contestants. The complaint, filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, relies on the testimony of plaintiffs Jasmine and Alex, both of whom worked as Villa producers during the 4th installment of the reality TV dating show. The first season, after the show had moved from CBS to NBCUniversal owned streaming service Peacock, the lawsuit alleges, in an effort to bolster ratings, Love Island USA recruited producers behind the hit UK version of the series, whose allegedly racist and abusive practices negatively impacted the mental health of the show contestants. Per court documents obtained by the Wrap, Rinks was concerned by the unsafe and unsanitary conditions of the production, alleged that producers denied contestants sleep, food, water, and sanitary bathrooms. Moreover, Crestwell alleged that producers pressured female contestants to engage in sexual relationships with male contestants, despite the previous stated reservations. They also alleged made derogatory comments about female contestants' bodies while watching intimate footage of contestants. The lawsuit also alleges that Love Island USA producers prevented a black contestant, Season 4 Serenity Springs, from succeeding on the show by barring her from making connections with male cast members when Crestwell brought up her concerns that Springs was being discriminated against. The suit states that the executive producer, Sophie Bush, told Crestwell, "We are protecting her because we know none of the boys on the show like her, and we would hate to see her get rejected."